A very good evening and welcome. This is Weekend Primetime News here on MTV Sports and Shakti TV. I'm Ramesh Irugal Bandara. As always, let's start off with a look at your headlines tonight.
CID rescues kidnapped child in 24 hours. Voyage of Indian fishermen to Sri Lankan waters postponed. Speaker of Parliament comments on the government's journey.
අපේ ආණ්ඩුවත් අපේ ජනාධිපතිතුමන් මේ යන ගමනේ 100% හරිය කියලා මම නම් කියන්නේ නැහැ.
On to our top story tonight, the Criminal Investigations Department that commenced investigations into the kidnapping of Yasin Lankanath was able to rescue the infant and also arrest all suspects connected to the kidnapping within 24 hours after taking over the case. Now, Yasin Lankanath, who was kidnapped on the 28th, was rescued by the police last night. The kidnapped child attended a press conference at the police headquarters this afternoon along with his parents. The events that unfolded over the past 5 days intrigued and captured the attention of the entire nation. Yasin Lankanath, who was rescued by police last night, was seen by the media this afternoon in the warm embrace of his parents at a media briefing organized at the police headquarters.
එක්තරා දුරකථන අංකයක් අපිට ලැබුණා. මේ දරුවගේ පියාට
We received a certain phone number. Phone calls were made to this child's father, and a majority of the calls were made to the child's grandfather. The reason for this is because the grandfather of the child is a wealthy businessman in the area. We were able to trace and identify one of the individuals who made these phone calls. After we identified him, we made phone calls to this person through the grandfather. Thereby, we were able to bring down the ransom demand from 10 million rupees to 3.5 million rupees. It was then that they showed us the religious symbol the child was wearing rather than the child. They wanted us to know that they had the child. At around 8:30 last night, we were able to arrest the first suspect connected to this kidnapping in the Gurutota area that comes under the Galgamu police division. We made phone calls through him to the other suspects. The 3 other suspects then arrived and they had left the child in a house in the Embogama area in the Galgamu police division. The child was taken under the care of the police. We were also able to apprehend the 3 other suspects as well.
අපිට අත්අඩංගුවට ගැනීමට හැකියාවක් ලැබුණා.
Policia නොහිටින්ද.
If it wasn't for the police and the CID, we would have never found my child. They demanded for money and I was prepared to give it. In the end, my son was rescued safely and my money was also saved.
පොලිසියේ දෙවිවරු තමයි මේ වැඩේ කරේ. ලෝකපාලන දෙවියෝ මගේ පුතාගේ ජීවිතේ රැක්කා.
The gods above protected my son and the police returned him to us. I want to thank the entire nation. People conducted religious events praying for the safety of my son in temples, churches, kovils and mosques, disregarding religious differences. The whole country blessed my son and he was saved because of this.
ඒ ආශිර්වාද තුලින් තමයි මගේ පුතාගේ ජීවිතේ බේරුනේ.
In the recent past, various allegations were made against the police. With regards to this specific incident, the police performed its duties very efficiently on behalf of little Yasin. Everyone in this country wishes to thank the police for this.
Yasin Lankanath's kidnappers kept him in a wooded area in Galkiriakanda area in Kurunegala for a number of days. Newsfirst Amarashri Bandara and cameraman Nandala Vimalasena reported on this story over the past few days from the area.
මගේ කැමරා ශිල්පී නන්දන විමලසේනත් මමත් මේ ඇවිත් ඉන්නේ භයානක මනසතුන් පිරුණු වනාන්තරයකට නෙමෙයි. ඊටාත්ම සිත
I am here with my cameraman Nandana Vimalasena. This is not a jungle where there are dangerous beasts. This is a place where the mind comes to relax as an Senasana. You can see that there are large rocks and pillars in this environment. There are a number of caves here too. This child was being held captive in one of these caves. However, these kidnappers were not able to achieve their goal in this environment. As a result of the extensive search operation by the security forces, the kidnappers were forced to abandon the child at a house not far from here and flee.
පරිසරයෙන් මදක් ඔබෙන් පිහිටි නිවසක් අසල දරුවාව අතහැර පලා යන්නට.
ඒ සම්බර ප්‍රොජෙක්ට්
In my opinion, it was the Sirasa Media organization that took the initiative to report on this matter in a responsible manner. I need to specifically thank Sirasa for this.
ඒ නිසා සිරස ආයතනයට විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ අවස්ථාව ඉස්තුතියක් කරන්න මට සිද්ධ වෙනවා.
We need to thank the Sirasa Media for what they did. Sirosa did a tremendous amount of work on behalf of the child.
The aura of sadness and despair that surrounded the residents of Yasin Lankanath was lifted today, and family members were finally breathing a sigh of relief. Residents who gathered at the house expressed their delight at the return of Yasin Lankanath in this manner.
දනිදු යචෙන් ලංකානාත් දරුවා පැහැරගෙන යාමත් සමග අපි අපේ මාධ්‍ය මෙහෙවර ආරම්භ කළා.
We commenced our media operation on the very day that Yasin Lankanath was abducted. We worked tirelessly for over 100 hours through 4 long days. During this time frame, you might have witnessed the manner in which we reported on this incident. We stood up for many things, including the safe return of this child. We conclude this operation today.
අදින් අපේ මේ මාධ්‍ය මෙහෙවර අවසන් වෙනවා. නේද?
Just a reminder, the entire press conference hosted at the police headquarters today can be viewed on our website, that's www.newsfirst.lk. On to another one of our headline-making stories. The fishermen in Rameshwaran have postponed their planned protest by entering Sri Lankan waters through Kachthyu by 10 days. Now, the decision was taken based on an assurance by the Indian central government to free the Indian fishermen along with their Indian fishing vessels. The assurance was given by Indian central government minister Pon Radhakrishnan.
Fishermen in Tamil Nadu commenced their protest on the 24th of last month. The fishermen made preparations to sail their vessels to Sri Lankan waters, flying white flags, carrying their family members. Indian Central Government Minister Pon Radhakrishnan, who met with the fishermen today, assured that steps will be taken to resolve the issue expeditiously. According to our correspondent, the fishermen temporarily called off their protest based on this assurance. Security was beefed up in the coastal areas, including Rameshwaran, due to the protest by the fishermen.
If the fishermen and vessels are not freed within 10 days, we will stage a massive protest opposite the parliament. We will continue our protest till we are allowed to engage in our traditional fishing activities and till our fishermen and their vessels are released.
The fishing method used by Tamil Nadu fishermen have been banned by the Sri Lankan Ministry of Fisheries. Fishermen in Jaffna state that the poaching of fish by Indian fishermen and the destruction of their nets caused by Indian fishermen have severely affected them.
They could engage in their activities in their waters without entering our waters. If they enter our waters, then we are severely inconvenienced. It takes us an entire year to do a job that takes them a day. They won't give us permission to catch fish using the trawler, but they have been given trawlers. That is why we are faced with this problem. They come here and use trawlers to catch fish. We use fishing nets instead. They do not allow us to catch fish using the trawlers or fishing nets.
இலங்கை மீனவர்கள் 30 வருஷம் கழிச்சு மீன் பிடிக்க வந்திருக்காங்க.
The aim of our protest is to free Indian fishermen in Sri Lankan custody and to secure the right of engaging in traditional fishing activities by allowing fishermen from both countries to access these waters.
பாரம்பரியமா பிடிச்சது போல மீன் பிடிக்கணும்ங்கற ஒரு கோரிக்கை வச்சு தான் இந்த போராட்டத்தை நாங்க நடத்திக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம்.
Minister of Fisheries and Aquatic Resource Development Dr. Rajita Senaratne notes that Sri Lanka can never agree to their demands.
අනුන්ගේ දීවර කලාප වලට ඇතුල් වෙලා බලෙන් ඒ මත්ස්‍ය හස්වැන්න මංකොල්ල කන දීවරයන් වෙනුවෙන් මොකටද රජයක් ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්නේ? ඒ නිසා මේක ඉන්දියානු රජය තමන් පිළිබඳව ජාතික වශයෙන් හිතලා ප්‍රතිපත්තිමය තීන්දුවක් ගන්නට ඕනේ. මේ රටට කවුරු සුදු කොඩි තියා මොන කළු කොඩි තියා මොනවා ගෙන ආවත් අපේ මේ නාවික හමුදාවේ ඒකට නිසි ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ගනිවි.
ඉන්දිය දීවර විරෝධතාවය අද නතර වූයේ එකවයි. මෙම ගැටලුව විසඳීමට නිශ්චිත ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයක් නොගන්නේතයි අප අමාත්‍ය
Well, the political stage is heating up ahead of the UA Provincial Council poll. Let's take a look at some of the views expressed by politicians on the political stage ahead of the elections.
තරහ වෙන්න එපා.
Do not get angered or disappointed, but this is the truth. You cannot even give your child the luxury given to their dogs with what you earn. Shouldn't this system be changed? Should this continue?
It is not a big deal to work using state funds. If the son has the money of the father, he can spend that money. These are state funds. That means the money of the people. This is the money of the taxpayer. Even the beggars pay taxes. Carrying out projects with this money is not a big task. What we really need is a leadership that can straighten the backbone of our people, the backbone which was broken by the colonizers.
Millions of rupees can be wasted under various projects. However, this government does not have the funds to find a solution for the water issue that has affected the people who solely depend on agriculture. This is a serious matter. They do not have money to provide drinking water.
The program implemented by the UNP and the JVP 30 or 40 years ago to destroy the youth does not take place anymore in the country. But remember that they have not let go of those practices. They are attempting to rouse up the youth again.
Poverty in the Uva province was at 12%. However, it has risen to 17% at present. This is how well they have looked after the Uva province. When we move amongst the people, the silent message that we receive from their faces is that they fear to speak out. That is the message that we receive across Uva.
We need to think of the future. We need to think of the young brothers and sisters and protect the development while ensuring that they can rise on their own 2 feet. That is the aspiration of the SLFP youth organization.
And it's time now for our special segment, Before the Ballot.
Upon arriving in the Badulla city, we could see the city is gearing up for the Uva Provincial Council polls. But have they received solutions for their issues?
The Katuwalalanda village is located in close proximity to the Bambaragala mountain, which is a picturesque tourist attraction. Despite boasting of an undisturbed natural environment, the Newsfirst team was able to witness the risks of living in this area due to its remote location. This road allows easy access to the Namanukula and Passara town to nearly 200 families living in surrounding villages. However, residents have been forced to travel an extra distance of 10 kilometers to reach these towns at present. There is a dire need of a bridge that connects 7 Grama Seva divisions. However, the construction of this bridge has stalled.
On this side is the Kahapila village, while on the other side is the Katuwalalanda village. The proposed bridge that will link these 2 villages is to begin from here. Yet, 6 years have passed and still there is no bridge.
It was revealed that ever since the project commenced, persons were employed on contract basis for construction and their salaries are yet to be paid.
අපි දුප්පත් මිනිස්සු වැඩ කරලා තාම මුදල් එන්න තියෙනවා. ඒතකොට අපි වැඩ කරපෙම වැඩන්නේ. ඒ දැන් ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක ඉවරයිලු. සල්ලිත් ඉවරයිලු. ඒකට අපි දෙහිකයි.
Expectations of the locals in the Kahapila village, located on the other end, too have been shattered.
මේ පාලම නැත්තම් ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම පාරින් වැඩක් නැහැ. කොච්චර මිනිස්සු පරිත්‍යාග කරලා තියෙනවද කියලා බලන්න. ගෙවල් කඩලා තිබුණා තමන් අසල දකින්න නැද්ද? මගේ නෝන ගෙවල් කඩලා දීලා තියෙනවා. වතු වැඩින් ඔක්කොම ඉඩම් දීලා තියෙනවා. වටිනා ගස් ඔක්කොම විනාශ කරලා තියෙනවා.
එනවා තන්දි ගන්න. හෙට දෙනවා. මොනවාද දෙනවා? අඩියාගෙන බෝරුට ලියාගෙන යනවා. ඉතින් තන්දි අරගෙන යනවා කටි ගන්න.
ඒ තරම් මිනිස්සු දුන්නාට පස්සේ ඇයි ඉතින් පොලිමේ. අර අපි නම් මේ සැරේ පාඩම එක උගන්වනවා. මේ ඡන්දෙට ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේක හදලා
මේ පාලම හදලා දුන්න දෙනකන් අපේ ඡන්දෙ දෙන්නේ.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that nothing can be achieved by betraying the country to foreigners. The president made this statement during an event held in the Hambantota area.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party Female Representatives Conference commenced today under the auspices of President Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Singapore Friendship Conference Hall in Hambantota. The event was also graced by Speaker Chama Rajapaksa.
රට යහපත් මාර්ගයකට ගෙනියනවා නම් රටේ අවශ්‍යතාවයන්
If the country is being directed onto a good path and the needs of the country are being met, then we would commend it. However, if there are differences in political and economic policies, then they should be explained to us. I wouldn't say that the journey of the president or the government is 100% correct. There are shortcomings that we could rectify.
මේ යන ගමනේ 100%ක් හරිය කියලා මම නම් කියන්නේ නැහැ. මේ පොඩි කියන අඩුපාඩුවක් හදා ගන්න පුළුවන්.
අපිට මේ ඔකක්වත් කරන්න බෑ. අපේ රට විදේශිකයන්ට පාවා.
We cannot do anything by betraying the country to foreigners. We cannot develop our country if we wait for everything to come from abroad. That is why we developed agriculture. That is why we are developing infrastructure facilities. A country will never develop without proper infrastructure facilities. We cannot solve all problems simply by feeding 3 square meals a day. We have let go of that era. Just as you love your mother, you should all unite to protect our motherland. We should not allow foreign forces to consume our country. I thank you for your efforts to build this blue barrier of female representatives around the country to protect it.
මේ කාන්තා බලවේගය මේ නිල් පෞර.
Now, development programs have been happening throughout the country. Tonight, we focus on a development project that is taking place in the city of Mathura.
One of the main projects that will beautify the city of Mathura has been named the Nilbala Riverside Park. 26 acres of land has been allocated for this massive development project. 22 acres of the land are privately owned lands and the process of reclaiming those lands are taking place at present. It has also been planned to construct an eco-friendly hotel on the bank of the Nilbala River with the objective of increasing the attractiveness of the historical city of Mathura. Special areas to conduct exercises for those who visit the Nilbala Riverside Nature Park are also to be constructed. The construction is undertaken by the Ministry of Defence and Urban Development.
Now, a tense situation erupted at the Kolonava Urban Council premises today after a group of Urban Council employees assaulted the Deputy Chairman of the Council. A letter citing that a group of urban councillors, or rather that a group of urban councillors had transformed the disposal of garbage at the Meetatmulla garbage dump into a racket, had led to this specific assault. A tense situation erupted when the letter in question was discovered among other documents of the Deputy Mayor.
I was assaulted by a group of employees and the mayor during office hours. These are drug peddlers and thugs who are in the urban council with T56 rifles. I was assaulted while the police looked on. Justice needs to be served. I request the Secretary of Defence to ensure that the people can come and get their work done at the urban council without any fear.
This individual has been criticizing me and calling me a criminal, drug peddler and a drug trafficker in order to obtain power. There was no assault. There will be an investigation. I did not witness an assault.
Now, police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana stated that the Vellampitiya police has commenced investigations into this incident. Joining us earlier, Western Provincial Councillor of the Democratic Party Susil Kindathipitiya shared these views on the incident.
It was reported that an altercation has taken place between the chairman and the deputy chairman of the Kolonava Urban Council. I got word of the situation from various other persons through telephone as well. This is a sad situation. Members of the same party who have taken over the administration tend to clash with each other. What is the fate of the people living in Kolonava? Such a situation never took place in Kolonava before. Persons representing the government are those who created such a situation in Kolonava. I will put forward a petition to the Provincial Council as a resident of Kolonava to resolve this issue. It seems that the government is not interested in doing that.
On to more local news now. The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment requests the public to refrain from seeking employment on tourist visas. The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment points out that those who do so will have to face dire consequences when abroad.
The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment points out that there is a racket to illegally direct Sri Lankans to engage in foreign employment on tourist visa.
මෑතක සිට සිදුවන යම්කිසි වංචාවක් එහෙමත් නැත්නම් දූෂණ
We have uncovered certain malpractices that had taken place over the recent past. The most serious one was sending individuals to Dubai on tourist visas and then smuggling them to other countries. This is human trafficking. It is a crime. Individuals who sought employment in Dubai and Malaysia on tourist visas are facing numerous difficulties. They have been subjected to extortion and sexual harassment. Their labor has been abused. Therefore, the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment requests the public not to depart the island for foreign employment with tourist visas. Do not fall victim to this practice. If you are to work abroad, you need to enter an agreement and obtain a work permit.
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම රැකියා ගිවිසුමක් අත්සන් කිරීමෙන් අනතුරුව ඒ වගේම ඔබ සතුව රැකියා වීසා බලපත්‍රයක් තිබිය යුතුයි.
Now on to a story that we have been following closely in the recent past. The Australian government has said that it has sent the 157 asylum seekers who were intercepted recently to a detention centre on the Pacific island of Nauru after they declined an offer to speak with Indian officials about their refugee claims. The boat carrying 157 migrants had been intercepted at sea by Australian Navy several weeks ago, and the passengers, which the government calls illegal maritime passengers, were detained at sea for a month before being brought to shore for questioning by Indian officials last week.
As part of its hardline immigration policy designed to deter migrants attempting to enter Australia by boat, the government had struck a deal with India for it to take back any of its nationals among the group who set sail from the Indian state of Pondicherry in June seeking asylum. Immigration Minister Scott Morrison said in a statement all 157, including 50 children, had refused to meet with the Indian consular officials this week and had been transferred to the island of Nauru.
It is disappointing that despite the government's best efforts, working closely with the government of India, who we greatly appreciate for their cooperation, that people who had the opportunity to talk to Indian consular officials and have the opportunity to be returned to India, where the majority of those who are on that vessel had been living prior to coming on that boat. They had the opportunity to return there and pursue that with Indian consular officials as part of a very unusual and unique arrangement that we were able to achieve last week when I was in New Delhi. That was not taken up, and as a result it was the government's next step to have people transferred to offshore processing.
According to government data, there are 1,127 people in detention on Papua New Guinea's Manus Island and 1,146 people in the facilities on Nauru.
The annual Ther festival of the Mayurapati Sri Bhadrakali Amman Kovil in Vellavatta, Colombo took place today.
The Adipura festival of the Mayurapati Sri Bhadrakali Amman Kovil took place this time around for the 27th time. The highlight of the event, the Ther festival, commenced subsequent to a special Abhishek Puja this morning. The Ther chariot commenced parading the streets this morning with the participation of a large number of devotees. The water cutting ceremony of the Mayurapati Sri Bhadrakali Amman Kovil will take place tomorrow morning at the Vellavatta beach.
In more local news, the foundation stone for a new Dharmashala of the Hadigama Sri Sudarshana Rama Puran Vihare in Piliyandala was laid today. The event was held under the auspices of Most Venerable Jayapure Udita Mahanayaka Theru of the Sri Kalyani Samagi Dharma Sangha Council of the Siam sect.
The event was graced by a distinguished gathering including Presidential Coordinating Secretary on Parliamentary Affairs Kumara Siri Hettige. We can see various crimes taking place today. This takes place as a result of a few bad people. Society as a whole does not fall into the same category. The respect given by children to their mother and father has improved. Due to some tragic incidents that are reported, we think that society is deteriorating. However, it is wrong.
An individual suspected to be in the drug trade has been killed in a shooting in Borella last night. Incidentally, this is the third such case reported during the course of a month. According to the police media spokesperson's office, an investigation into the incident is currently underway.
The The shooting, which claimed the life of a 23-year-old, took place inside this barbershop in Borala. According to the police media spokesperson's office, the shooting was carried out by 4 persons. The Borala police have commenced investigations into the incident.
Causeway Paints Lanka Private Limited completed 20 years of service in the business sector yesterday.
Causeway Paints Lanka Private Limited marked its 20th anniversary at an event held at the Panadura Modaravilla Industrial Park yesterday. Over the past 20 years, Causeway Paints Lanka Private Limited has become a household name by providing paint of the highest standard. Managing Director of Causeway Paints Lanka Private Limited, M.K. Maujud, elaborated on the future journey of Causeway Paints. Causeway Paints that has been providing its customers with products such as luxury emulsion, Kenlux enamel, Sunny Auto Care, Dibia, Color Box and Star Class today marks 20 successful years of service. We added color to the nation and we extend our gratitude to our customers, the sales agents, our salesmen and the staff for supporting us during this journey. We also hope to provide the customers with products of high standard and maintain those high standards.
Now a heavy downpour dampened the day for many of the Colombo residents today. Newsfirst Florin Rajendran has the details for us.
Rainy weather conditions have affected the country as a result of the activation of southwestern monsoons. This weather pattern will be in effect until the first week of September as forecasted by the Department of Meteorology. Wind speeds can increase along the coastal belt stretching from Putlam to Galle and Hambantota. The Met Department forecasts that wind speeds up to 60 km per hour can be experienced and several areas have been affected due to the inclement weather condition. A lorry that was travelling on the Hatton-Colombo main road fell off a 20-foot precipice in Malyapur. 2 persons sustained injuries in the accidents. An earth slip on the Hatton-Lakshapana road this morning hampered the flow of traffic. The Road Development Authority intervened to move the loosened earth and traffic flow on the road was restored. Meanwhile, an earth slip in the Aldeni area in Gampa injured 3 persons. Meanwhile, one spill gate of the Lakshapana reservoir was opened today as a result of a heavy downpour. One spill gate of the Kenyan reservoir, 2 had been opened and the water levels of the Castleway reservoir, 2 have risen. Showers or thunder showers are likely in the western, Sabaragamuwa central and in the Galle and Mathur districts, and the showers can extend to the northwestern province too. Heavy rainfall of more than 100 millimeters is also likely at some places, while thunder showers will develop in several places elsewhere during the afternoon or evening. However, the drought situation still persists in the northern, north central and eastern provinces of the island.
Thank you, Florin, for that update. Now, agricultural activities in areas affected by the drought conditions have come to a complete standstill. Area residents who are facing financial hardships as a result of the drought say they are faced with a situation where they do not have even labor work to do.
The prevalent drought has caused a massive water shortage in Madirgire, which is located in the north central province. Locals from the Maiga Sandhya, Vadigawava and Mirigaswava villages have been affected. Despite the Madirgire Divisional Secretariat providing drinking water through bowsers, the residents point out that it is not sufficient.
I'm requesting that water be provided to us at least twice or thrice a week.
They should provide us with water at least 3 times a week. We have to travel 4 to 5 miles to take a bath. Farmers who fail to cultivate their lands in the yellow season due to the drought are faced with dire economic hardships.
We don't have any means of living, not even domestic labor. We ask the government to provide us with some relief.
The Parakram Samudra, which can hold 110,000 acre-feet of water, only has 47,000 acre-feet of water at present. The water capacity in the Giritale tank has dropped to 22,000 acre-feet, while the water capacity of the Minneria tank has dropped to 27,000 acre-feet from 110,000 acre-feet. The Mahavali Authority of Sri Lanka had instructed farmers to cultivate alternative crops on 50% of their lands due to the dry weather. Thereby, farmers in the Mahavali Sea Zone cultivated green gram, soybeans and kurakan, over the past 2 months. However, the farmers lament that they are unable to sell their produce.
On to sports news now. Today is the 10th day of the Commonwealth Games, which is currently underway in Glasgow, Scotland. The Sri Lankan 4x400 men's relay team were knocked out of the Commonwealth Games as they did not qualify in their first heat.
Sri Lanka's 4x400 meters relay team comprised of Nalin Karunaratne, Chanaka Jayasekara, Anjana Gunaratne and Kasun Seneviratne. The Lankan team clocked a time of 3 minutes and 8.1 seconds. Trinidad and Tobago clocked a time of 3 minutes and 4.06 seconds to win the heat. Sri Lanka's hope of proceeding further in the women's badminton doubles was shattered as the Lankans were defeated in the quarter-finals by India. Sri Lanka was represented by Achani Ratnasiri and Upali Veerasinghe.
Well, that's a wrap of Weekend Primetime News for tonight. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Ramesh Bandara. Good night.